Alright, hi everybody, it's me, Buncan and 22. Okay, now we got Inspectra, Inspectra, in, Inspectra 2, Season 2, Episode 5, Rika's Return. Now, I know a lot of people are wondering about this one. So, Rika is Kurou's cousin. Now, the funny thing about this is, as we know from Season 1, she was the one who orchestrated that whole case of the girl who got her head smashed and then turned into a specter, like this title, Spectre. So, that's what her involvement was, Rika. Now, in this episode, we see her. It's mostly her, and then we shift over to Kotoko and Kurou. And later on, you get an explanation of what's going on in this apartment that she's staying in, what occurred, and all that jazz. But we focus on Rika, and she basically is staying at this apartment. And we get a whole backstory of her that she had to leave. But before that, we get Kotoko explaining to Kurou that she still doesn't know where she is. But what's funny about this is turning into like a, tug of war for Kurou. Kurou. Because it seems to me like Rika, she doesn't like Kotoko at all. At all. She doesn't like her at all. And because she says at the end of this conversation she's having with her, she asks her, like, because she's staying at her parents' house or something like that. And what she's afraid of. And then Kotoko asks her, what are you afraid of? And she says, you. And it's like, okay, we can see where this is going. But that's pretty much what the episode was. We get introduced to two new characters. These are basically just one-off characters. We get introduced to Kazuyuki and Mairumi. Now they're just the people. It's a boyfriend and girlfriend situation, but the guy, Kazuyuki, he's the one who's the manager of the apartment complex, and he has a conversation with Rika. She's staying there, so on and so forth, and you could see that it seems like Rika is just, she doesn't like Kotoko, and it seems like she wants him back, Kurou. That seems to be the case. Anyway, what ends up happening? Sorry. And she has a little small talk with the manager of the complex, Kazuyuki, and she explains how she's introduced to her school girlfriend, that jazz. And he does kind of go into detail, but not much, that the apartment that she's staying in is haunted. There's been like 3 suicides or something like that. But what ends up happening? She's going to go to the horse track because she's got a ticket for a betting of the horses. She goes across the street. She gets hit by a truck. Oh my God! Everybody's screaming and everything, and we forget one simple fact: she's Kurou's cousin. Yeah, she's probably immortal, which she is. So what ends up happening in that regard is, she is like fine. She goes to the hospital, but she's released. So it's like, okay. But that's what happens there. She comes back. She basically goes on the whole diatribe to Kazuyuki. Well, this was actually before. Was this after? No. It was after the accident. Yeah, she said she was okay, and she has dinner with them, and she explains what she wants, and how there's this awful girl who took away my cousin. Everything. It's so ridiculous. But it's like that's basically what the whole story was. They also explain the whole concept with the apartment 305. Apparently, people keep killing themselves in there. Go figure. They're killing themselves, and that's what's happening. So she kind of not really explains it, but she says about Kotoko how she's a horrible girl, and my cousin's going out with this girl, and she's saying that he's going to be miserable. It's like what? Okay, well let's go down that rabbit hole. But he's gonna be miserable and everything. And she says at the end, he's mine. Huh? I'm like, okay, you're cousins. So are you saying mine as, oh, he's my boyfriend? Or very weird exchange. Very weird exchange. But she leaves and she explains to the manager that, she leaves. So she goes back to her apartment. But then at a later scene, she leaves and she explains how uh, this girl who's horrible, an awful girl. It's so funny because they see her come in and they're like, "This is the awful girl." Like, it's hilarious, but you can tell that there's animosity between the two, and it's just like one of those things. But she explains that to the couple, the manager of the apartment complex, and so on and so forth. And she goes on her way. And then they come in, Kotoko and Kurou, and Kotoko basically goes on the whole diatribe about what's happening with the apartment, about the suicides, and how the third suicide person was basically the third suicide person had to do with the second suicide person. Basically, it was a boyfriend who dumped his girlfriend. He ended up taking care of the apartment, being in that apartment, and basically that apartment just the guilt of his girlfriend killing herself and everything in between, and that's why he killed himself. A little more or less. It was just, here and there. But you could tell that the girlfriend of the manager, she's like, she also doesn't like her. But here's the thing. It's one of those things where I think Rika just doesn't like her. Like, rubbed her the wrong way, doesn't like her, and furthermore, it seems like she wants Kurou. I'm like, he's your cousin. Are you talking like boyfriend, girlfriend getting married? Or something else? It's a very hazy situation. But they basically are in a whole diatribe of trying to stop her. Because, as we all know from season 1, she's the one who caused that whole thing with that entity of that song actress. Remember that? The actress who was the ghost and had a steel beam. That was the whole bit about that. So it seemed like that's what is occurring. So now we basically have, what we're really having now is this thing of a cat and mouse game of them trying to find Rika and stopping her. Wherever that was. It's a very weird and strange situation because if we look at the past episodes, we've been having one case with the Snow Woman. Before that was that other case. And now we have Rika. I think they're going to focus on Rika and this whole situation with that. I think that's what's going to happen. And I think the further down the line we go in season 2, there's going to be an altercation between Rika and Kotoko. This is like, it's turning into like a love triangle shit. It's like, hilarious. But that seems to be what the case is. Overall, I thought the episode was good. It was a little different than what we've been getting. So I'd probably still give this a high rating. I would probably say 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10. Not complete 10 out of 10, but 9 out of 10 at least, because it was different. It was not the same kind of episodes that we've been getting in the last couple of weeks. So, you know. But overall, it was a good episode. A good forward start. We now see Rika. We now see this storyline called Tug of War Kurou. Who's gonna get him? I guess. It's just one of those weirdest things. So probably going to continue what I've been doing, which is basically review here, episode review for Stray Dogs, and episode review for Trigun. And that's probably how we're going to go about it until the very end when I officially do reviews on the anime series when they're done. But we'll see how when we get there to that part, how that goes, and so on and so forth. But this is Moncon 922. I'll catch you guys later on the flip side.